You know when you're driving and, like, that check engine light suddenly blinks on? You don't just ignore it, right? It means something under the hood is fundamentally broken.
Yeah, you pull over immediately.
Exactly. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into some ecological data from Denmark, where the ocean's check engine light is basically glaring red. We're looking at a case with two students, Kesser and Steen, who are investigating a huge mystery right in their own backyard at Roskilde Fjord.
Yeah, they're tracking the sudden disappearance of these tiny crustaceans called amphipods, or Tanglopper, as they say in Danish. And it's wild because by looking for these little bugs on the beach in their hood, they're actually uncovering why the local fishing industry is struggling so alarmingly right now.
The human element here is just striking. I mean, Kesser and Steen, they remember being kids and wading in the shallows of this fjord, feeling small fish tickle their feet.
Oh, yeah, and locals used to easily net shrimp there, gather mussels, all of that.
Right, but
I
today,
know.
those shallows are completely barren. Which brings up a big question.
It's highly irregular. I mean, amphipods are famously common everywhere, from Iceland all the way down to Portugal. And right now, like July to September, is their absolute peak season.
But the databases they checked, like Arter.dk and Nature Basin, they show literally zero finds near Roskilde Harbor, right?
Zero. The only recent sighting they could find is way out at the opposite end by the Kattegat outlet.
Okay, wait. If they're so resilient and widespread, how does an entire population just vanish from one specific local hood? I was looking at these notes about mussel dredging, where fishing boats drag heavy gear to scrape up the seabed.
Yeah, the whole dredging debate.
Right, but amphipods live on the beach, in washed up seaweed, so why would scraping the underwater seabed kill a bug that lives up on the sand?
Well, that is the critical missing link here. You see, dredging physically tears up the underwater eelgrass and kelp beds. If you destroy those underwater forests,
Oh, the seaweed never grows in the first place.
exactly. And without that washed up seaweed, the amphipods completely lose their entire habitat. To understand why this matters to the fish, you really have to look at what the common amphipod actually does all day.
Right, they're these little 3 centimeter crustaceans with big black eyes and, like, red tail spots, right?
Yeah, and they basically serve as the ecosystem's first responder. They dive into these fresh piles of washed up seaweed on the shore, they eat it, they dig these vertical tunnels through it.
But they aren't just chewing leaves. I mean, they act like the kindling for a much bigger fire.
That is a great way to put it, because as they tunnel and chew, bacteria follow them to break down all that rotting plant matter.
And that bacterial breakdown creates a huge chemical reaction that generates actual heat.
It does. The data shows the inside of these rotting seaweed piles can get up to 20 degrees Celsius warmer than the air outside.
Wow. So they are essentially building a heated winter bunker.
Basically, yeah. And that thermal anomaly keeps the coastal ecosystem active year-round. It feeds specialized flies, spiders, and shorebirds, even in the dead of winter.
I loved this detail from the notes. Smart local gardeners actually know to only skim the very top of seaweed piles for fertilizer so they don't steal these helpful bugs.
Right, you don't want to disturb those little bioengines. But it's not just the shorebirds that need them.
Yeah, they're basically the ocean's microscopic garbage crew that conveniently doubles as an all-you-can-eat buffet for the predators in the water.
Exactly. Sea trout, cod, flatfish, they all desperately rely on this massive population of bugs for food,
Oh.
which is why their disappearance is such a powerful indicator of water quality.
Right, so Kesser and Steen aren't just hunting for bugs, they are diagnosing the health of their entire fjord.
Yeah, they're diagnosing a massive bottom-up cascade when severe physical disturbances like dredging or, poor oxygen or chemical pollution from pesticide runoff.
Or wastewater.
Yeah, exactly. When those things wipe out the kelp beds or poison the
The
water,
kindling never gets lit.
that's the sad reality. The seaweed doesn't wash up, the heat engine of the shoreline never ignites, the organic waste doesn't break down, and the entire food web, from the flies on the beach to the cod in the fjord, it just starves.
Which completely explains why the local fisheries are in such dire straits right now. You can't just knock out the foundational middleman and expect the rest of the chain to hold.
No, you really can't. A simple walk on the beach by two students proves how just a microscopic change completely alters the thermal and chemical makeup of an entire coastline.
It's a fragile, interconnected net of biodiversity. So for you listening out there, next time you walk past a pile of smelly, rotting seaweed on the beach, maybe don't just hold your nose.
Right, take a closer look.
Consider that bustling 20-degree mini metropolis hidden inside. Because if that tiny city goes quiet, what does it mean for the future of the oceans? right at our doorstep.